a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer
reason that Josh Allen needs to repeat as MVP for them to win the Super Bowl. They're so close. I mean, if we're being honest, they're so close. They would have been in a Super Bowl if they didn't give Patrick Mahomes 13 extra seconds. Patrick Mahomes had 13 seconds, got him a field goal to go win in overtime, which I'm very thankful they changed those rules. And it was because of that. And who knows? Josh Allen gets the ball in that playoffs, in that AFC Championship game. And after the Chiefs go and score, maybe Josh Allen goes and scores again. We're still playing football. But we don't know. So there's a lot to be said about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. They're so close. They're so close. And I think Josh Allen's just going to do Josh Allen things. And he doesn't have to be the MVP for them to win a Super Bowl. He just has to do what he does. Stay consistent. Who knows? I mean, that's the thing, too, is you can't say he has to be an MVP when maybe Lamar Jackson is an extraordinary year. Joe Burrow is an extraordinary year. Patrick Mahomes bounced back a little bit. Other guys can be MVP. Buffalo Bills can win a Super Bowl with, I don't even want to say an average Josh Allen, but Josh Allen just being him, Super Bowl contender. Carolina Panthers. Are we buying Bryce Young's mini resurgence in later parts of 2024? So, 2024 season, Bryce Young, first pick in the 2023 draft, struggled so badly that he got benched for Andy Dalton early in the season, and then got the job back because Andy Dalton injured his hand in a car accident. But then after that, Bryce Young gets the job back, and he was solid. Won the Panthers a few football games, seemed like a totally different person, which kudos to Bryce Young. It's not only in football, not only in sports, in life, it's tough to almost be knocked down like that. Almost be told you're not good enough. You were supposed to be great and you're not good enough. And you get pushed to the side. And then after that, you get another opportunity and you're just, I don't want to say lights out, but you perform. You bounce back, and you almost just prove everyone wrong. He proved his own coaching staff wrong, own organization wrong, which is super cool to see. So with Bryce Young, here's also another thing. When you're in an organization, I said it before for Michael Penix, but it hasn't really happened yet. Bryce Young, it did happen. You don't bench a young quarterback. You know why you drafted him first overall? One, because he's an extraordinary talent, but two, because you had the first overall pick. You know why you have the first overall pick? Because you're not a great team. You're not a great team. That's how you get the first overall pick. So he gets picked, and I know I don't know a whole bunch about the situation. I know there was some differences between, what the coaching staff wanted, and then along with, the front office, what they wanted. Someone didn't want Bryce Young, the other one did. And so that just became a whole thing in itself. But you got a young quarterback. You're the Carolina Panthers. If you can show me that another quarterback can walk into that organization and just win you football games like that, sure, Bryce Young might not be the guy, might not be as talented as we think he is. I think he is. But if someone else does it, sure, we got our answer on Bryce Young. But if no one else can walk into that organization, that situation, and just win football games, it's not a quarterback problem. It's a team problem. So I think I'm expecting big things from Bryce Young. I'm not saying they're going to be extraordinary, but I think he's going to have a confidence this season. This is a crazy question in my mind for the Chicago Bears. Is it already now or never for Caleb Williams? Back to my original point. Why do we expect these rookie quarterbacks to just show up, these young quarterbacks to just show up and ball out? Like, why do we think that, we get it, they were good in college. That's the reason they're getting drafted so high. They're drafted to the number one, they're drafted number one overall to not a great team. So you can't expect one guy to show up in an organization and just say, hey, you're the best player from college football and best quarterback. You're going to show up. You're going to win us football games. Not how it works. And even last year, I feel like throughout the season, we saw Caleb Williams, to start, wasn't beautiful, but we saw a few games where we were like, yeah, he's kind of doing it. He's being Caleb Williams, the one that we saw at USC, the one that we saw at Oklahoma. And he has a new offensive line, which is great because last year, I think a few of the turnovers and just some of the mishaps that came weren't because of Caleb Williams. They were, but in a sense, he was getting scrambled out of the pocket. He had no time. He was trying to make a play because when he was in college, he could do that. He could go crazy. He could do something we haven't seen before and make an extraordinary play because he was just more athletic, because he was better than the competition. Not the case in the NFL. I think at times he tried to do too much, but he wouldn't have had to do too much if he had an offensive line that was protecting him and not letting him like run around like with his head cut off, with a mob chasing him of big dudes, big defensive linemen that just got free through the Bears offensive line and said, Caleb Williams, we're coming for you. Let's see what you can do. So I'm expecting big things out of Caleb Williams. It's going to be a gauntlet of an NFC North and some good quarterback play, I think, too. I feel like very similar, very even quarterback play. I think we're going to see really solid stuff out of Jordan Love. I think that's going to be impressive. JJ McCarthy will get to. Jared Goff, another one. Caleb Williams. I think it's going to be a good division. I think Ben Johnson is going to be great for Caleb Williams. We saw what he did in Detroit. It's going to be extraordinary to see this NFC North and just the competition, because it's not going to be an easy division to win. So many changes. Going to be fun to watch Caleb Williams. Moving on. Cincinnati Bengals, one of my favorite ones that I'm excited for. Here we are. Is the Bengals defense improved enough to support Joe Burrow if he repeats his 2024 performance? Huge Joe Burrow fan. He just does things the right way. I think he's a positive dude. And he just balls out. And I'll be honest, he does a great job with the media and just like, the pressure that gets put on him. Because last year we saw it. I felt bad. It's not very often I feel bad for a guy that's having Joe Burrow type stats. But when Joe Burrow had games where he was throwing 3-4 touchdown passes, 350, 400 yards, and they were still losing by a touchdown or two because the defense couldn't, help him out, I felt bad for him. So I do think that the Bengals defense has improved a little bit. They got Stewart finally signed out of Texas A&M in their first round draft pick. I think that'll make a big impact. But most of the time in the NFL, if you can keep a team to, 21 points, or if you score 28 points, let's say 28 points, which I feel like the Bengals maybe scored the most points in the NFL. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to be just making stuff up, but they scored quite a bit of points and they were still losing games. So we'll have to see what we see out of Joe Burrow this season. He got his weapons back. He got Jamar Chase. He got T. Higgins. It's going to be a good season for the Bengals. I expect their offense to be lights out. I expect them to do the same thing that they did in 2024. Has the Bengals defense improved enough? I sure hope so. Because that was a Super Bowl caliber, offense. Defense was maybe worse than the league. So I hope Joe Burrow gets what he deserves out of his defense. How can you put all this from way earlier? How can you put Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jamar Chase, who is a baller in the same sense? I was more doing that because of their college production. Jamar Chase at LSU, absolutely absurd last season, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Same thing at Ohio State. I mean, dude just balled out. There was no one in college football that could guard him. So I'm just saying that was kind of the expectations of Marvin Harrison Jr. getting to the NFL. And I think it's tough to compare receivers just because they're all freak athletes. And then some guys just pop off out of nowhere that you don't see too often. Speaking of the Cleveland Browns and rookie QB Shedeur Sanders, can any of the Browns' 4 quarterbacks actually emerge as the answer? Great game out of Shedeur Sanders yesterday. I know there's so many. I feel like you either love him or you hate him. You have your own opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm not going to say, what you should think about him, but it was impressive what he did yesterday. I know you can make all the excuses you want. You're playing the Carolina Panthers. It's preseason. We've seen other guys like Daniel Jones ball out in preseason football. A few years ago, we saw Kenny Pickett on the Steelers ball out in preseason football. How much does it really mean? Harrison made a great point earlier. In preseason, in the NFL preseason, I think if a guy struggles, does not do too well, I think that's almost a sign of, all right, I don't think he can do this. I maybe he's not Bill. Maybe he's got a lot more that he needs to work on in order for him to have success in the regular season once the NFL gets going. But if a guy does do well in preseason football, I don't want to say that means this guy's going to be a baller. He's going to have it all figured out. Future MVP. No, I think what it means is they have a chance. They have a chance to be successful. They have a chance that they could go and win, games in the NFL. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but it means that they possibly could. So I think that's the um, thought process with quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in NFL preseason. But I still think Joe Flacco's the guy. I think Joe Flacco's going to be the starter, which I don't understand. What do you gain from it? Maybe it gives these other guys like Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders, which you can only start one of them. I don't know why you drafted both of them. It gives them a little bit more time to develop, learn, get a little bit more experience on the sidelines, knowing, what's Joe Flacco thinking. He's playing this league for plenty of years. But I think honestly, after a little bit of Joe Flacco, if you're in the Browns and you're not winning games consistently, then give these young guys a chance. Even Kenny Pickett, see if he's a guy that can, make an impact in this league. If not, then I think that shows maybe Kenny Pickett isn't going to be the guy. But then you have two rookie quarterbacks that hey, let's get you some reps. Let's see what you can do, even just for a learning experience. It's not to, expect you to go out there and ball, but it's to give you an opportunity to see what you can do, learn a little bit. Last time you played was in college football game. Now you're playing in the NFL. Let's see what you're about. The Browns are just so up in the air for what, I don't know what we're going to see. They're the Browns. It's hard to even talk about the Browns. They really upset me. Which, I mean, it's not very often that a team that I don't even root for upsets me, but I wish better for their players. I wish better for, the guys that do care and are in that organization. I just wish that maybe the players got treated a little better and they could have a little bit more opportunity for success. Dallas Cowboys. This is a great question. Which version of Dak Prescott will we get this season? I think we're going to get a really good version of Dak Prescott. Number one, because he's healthy. He feels like he's been injured quite a bit. There's been quite a few seasons that he hasn't been healthy for a full season. I think we're going to see a healthy Dak Prescott. That'll be awesome. But here's the reason why I think he's going to have a little bit more success. It seems like in the past few seasons, it was ball gets to CeeDee Lamb or the Cowboys are screwed. They're not going to win a football game if they can't get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. And now you add a guy like George Pickens, who I think is a top tier wide receiver 2 in the National Football League. So you have a top tier wide receiver 1, top tier wide receiver 2. You got two big weapons. The run game has always, the past few years, has been, a little bit of a question mark for them. But I think Dak, he's almost got something to prove. I mean, he's been with the Cowboys for quite a while now. And I think, he's not winning playoff football games. He's like, this is the time where I turn it around. I got the weapons. I got the confidence. And honestly, I don't know if this is even his brain, might not be. But let's prove Jerry Jones wrong. It seems like anytime there's a player like Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, that deserves some money, Jerry Jones doesn't want to pay them. He'll pay them if they're doing fine, but the moment that they struggle, even just a little bit, he'll bash, them to the media. He'll say they're not worth the money. And I honestly think Jerry Jones treats too many of the athletes just like they're athletes, like they're not humans, which I think is a terrible thing in professional sports and sports in general, because there's so much more than that. But Jerry Jones has got to treat his players with respect. And I think Dak's got something to prove this year. I think people have kind of gotten his name out of their brain a little bit just because of the injuries, and, they're not putting him as a top quarterback. When Dak is hot, he is hot. He's a good quarterback, and I'm really curious to see what these Dallas Cowboys have in store. One more, and then we'll head to break. This is an exciting one. Denver Broncos, can Bo Nix be the quarterback who ends Patrick Mahomes' streak of 7 straight AFC titles? Bo Nix, extraordinary season last year. It's really rare that you see two rookie quarterbacks have the seasons in the same season that Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels had. I mean, Bo Nix compared to quarterbacks of the past, players of the past, offensive rookie of the year, sure. But then you have Jaden Daniels, who was even a step better, which is unbelievable. And we'll get to that. But what Sean Payton and Bo Nix have built in one season in Denver is pretty fun to watch. It's pretty cool that Sean Payton said, here's our rookie quarterback. He's one of our captains. He's a guy that's going to be a leader on this team, and pretty much told Bo Nix, be a leader, be the guy we've seen in college. And Bo Nix did just that. Little slow to start, but then he was making connections with his receivers like Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, and a few others. Just, like it was nothing. Like they've been playing together since they were in preschool. And Bo Nix, I love his composure. I think he's, as an athlete, obviously incredible, but just the way he carries himself, the way he is a leader, the way he gets the most out of his teammates. Even, I don't want to say a young guy because he is a little bit old. He was a little bit older for a rookie, but for being a rookie, it seemed like he had so much respect in that locker room. And the Broncos thrived off of that. I mean, making the playoffs as a rookie is pretty impressive. Jaden Daniels did the same, but it's tough to be a rookie quarterback and have real success because we've seen so many others who have really struggled. So, Bo Nix, back to actually answering the question, can Bo Nix be the quarterback who wins Patrick Mahomes' streak of 7 straight AFC West titles? I think so. I think he has a better chance than the Chargers or the Raiders, who also have some pretty good quarterbacks in Justin Herbert and Geno Smith, but we'll get to. This Broncos team seems like they have some really good chemistry and they know what they're doing. So, I don't know. I expect the Chiefs to bounce back pretty well after the Super Bowl we just saw, but definitely think Bo Nix could be the guy. So with that being said, we'll talk a little bit more, answer a few more questions on the other side. We'll be right back on the Ticket Weekends.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Hello, Husker fans. Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice for all your automotive needs. Whether new or used, car, truck, crossover, SUV, or EV, we've got them. Shop our ever-changing specials at ZollnerofBeatrice.com or give us a call today and go Big Red. We are Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through August 10th, enjoy 8-ounce USDA Choice boneless New York strips for $8.99 each. Duroc whole bone-in pork butt, $2.99 per pound. Colorado peaches, $1.99 per pound. And Busch Light 30 racks, $17.99 each when you buy 2. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Ticket weekend. Beautiful Saturday here in Lincoln. Crazy weather this morning. Just looking out this window. So many tree branches, limbs, whole trunks just all over the place. I don't know about you guys. Got woken up at like 5 this morning from the tornado sirens. And I was still half asleep. And I woke up, a little bit. And I was like, why are they doing a tornado drill this early? Mostly because I just wanted to stay asleep. And then it kept going. I was like, I guess they probably wouldn't do a drill right now. So went down to my basement, finally turned off. No issues. Turned out to be a pretty solid day, a little cloudy. Hopefully, these branches get brushed away or everything. But should be pretty good day here in Lincoln. So let's stick with it. We're talking NFL quarterbacks. ESPN came out with an article of 2025 NFL quarterback questions for all 32 teams. And we are at the Detroit Lions. Can Jared Goff overcome all of the changes in Detroit? That's going to be tough. I think Jared Goff throughout his career has just gotten better and better. When he first got traded from the Rams to Detroit, to the Lions, he struggled. They had a real tough first season. They might have won 1 game. I think that's what it was. But then after that, he kind of turned it around. And it wasn't his fault that year. Like, it's not like it was just a team thing. Like, there was no quarterback that was going to step into that organization. I think it was Dan Campbell's first year as well. And there was no one that was just going to step in there and just, turn the Lions around. But Dan Campbell and Jared Goff together have just been a force to be reckoned with. Very unfortunate what happened for the Lions and any Lions fans in last year's playoffs. But I think Jared Goff can overcome the changes. Ben Johnson goes to Chicago. He's going to be helping out Caleb Williams, which is another reason why I'm so high on Caleb Williams. We saw what Jared Goff was able to do in his offense, I think the Bears will be similar. Um, there's quite a few changes when you get a new offensive coordinator. Um, several other members of the coaching staff are gone. They're getting a new center with Frank Ragnow retiring. There's a lot of change, but that's just how the NFL is. You either adapt or you get pushed to the side and towards the bottom of the league. And I don't think that's what's going to happen with Detroit. And I think they kind of have a chip on their shoulder. Last year, they were winning football games. They were a really solid team, and they couldn't get it done in the postseason. Almost one of the years where I thought they were Super Bowl bound. I did. I thought that they were Super Bowl bound. You can call me crazy because it's still the Detroit Lions, but Jared Goff was playing lights out. Amon-Ra St. Brown is such a good target. I don't think Jared Goff really needs to overcome these changes. I think he just needs to be himself. They got a chip on their shoulder. It's going to be a little bit different of an offense just because you're not going to have all of Ben Johnson's schemes, but you still learned from him for a while and you know what works. I think they're going to be good. I'm not too worried about the Lions. Like I said before, tough division though, and we'll see what the Chicago Bears offense looks like against the Detroit Lions, because that's going to be a little tough one for Ben Johnson, kind of knowing what the Detroit defense does, but the Detroit defense knowing exactly how Ben Johnson works. So that'll be an exciting 2 games this season. Green Bay Packers. Can Jordan Love reach another level? This past season, he threw 25 touchdown passes, and Green Bay was 11-6, which is led them to only finish 3rd in the NFC North, which is kind of crazy. I think Jordan Love can reach another level. I'm excited. This is the first time in years, maybe it's the first time ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, that the Green Bay Packers finally drafted a first-round quarterback in Matthew Golden out of Texas. Really excited to see that. And they have some other, solid weapons, and Jalen Reed and Christian Watson. So they have weapons for him. You have Josh Jacobs. You have a good run game as well that you can lean on, a back that just wants the ball, that will carry the ball 20 times a game and not think twice. So I'm excited for the Packers, and I think Jordan Love can. I think last year was just kind of like we've seen him just progressively get better. Last year was like, oh, wow, like this guy can really ball. Like he can lead a football team. Matt LaFleur really has given the reins and said, Jordan Love win us football games, and he's done that for the most part. I think he is going to be on another level. I think there's so many guys that are getting to points in their career. You could say, Jared Goff, another one, Jordan Love, that are just like, all right, this is where we flip a switch. This is where we go win playoff games. This is where guys see us and they say, wow, I wish that guy was on our team rather than the quarterback we have. And I think Jordan Love's going to have one of those seasons. Excited to see how he is. Houston Texans. What do the offensive coordinator and O-line changes mean for CJ Stroud in year 3? So CJ Stroud was unreal his rookie season in Houston. It's another one of those stories that Jaden Daniels, a Bo Nix, a guy that as a rookie just balled out, and you didn't really expect that. New offensive coordinator in Bobby Slowick, who we'll see how that plays out. Sorry, I apologize. He was the one that just got fired. Nick Caley comes in with the new scheme, an offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. So it's tough for these young quarterbacks that have to have a slump that CJ Stroud did with not a great offensive line last year, and maybe even a worse offensive line this year with Laramie Tunzel gone, and a few others. And they didn't really reinforce. They didn't, have great turnover when it came. All right, we're losing some offensive linemen. Let's get some more. Not the case. They don't have a great offensive line, which scares me a little bit for CJ Stroud. And he has to learn a whole new offense. I think anything we see from CJ Stroud this season, if it is successful, it is all because of him. I think he proved his rookie season what he can do when he has a little bit of help on the offensive line and when he's given confidence. But when he's losing guys are getting injured, especially his weapons, that it seems like Tank Dell and others have just, been injured. He's had at least one injured receiver every year. If CJ Stroud can bounce back after maybe that sophomore slump that wasn't really on him a whole bunch, then it's impressive. I think these changes mean that he's got to, put in the work. He's got to try to understand this new offensive coordinator, this new offensive scheme, and then he's got to try to trust his own line to hopefully, save him. Oh my gosh. Indianapolis Colts. Have we seen the last of Anthony Richardson as the starter in Indianapolis? Well, funny, his name gets brought up in the question because he just got injured in the first preseason game. Finger injury. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but I believe he was 2 for 3 for about 21, 24 yards, something like that. Nothing extraordinary, but when you're in the second drive of the game and you get smoked like that with a guy coming off the edge and your running back just goes out into the flat, there's not much that you can do. Maybe it was a pre-snap thing where maybe you should have seen that guy and said, "Hey, running back, stick here. Maybe don't let this guy go untouched." Or it's another thing where that running back needs to just understand that, like, he sees a guy coming around, he was like, "Well, I'm supposed to go to the flat," and then next thing you know, that guy just runs by him and smoked. Anthony Richardson has a finger issue, and had an issue with his throwing shoulder. So throwing shoulder hopefully healed. Finger now a problem. And now you have Daniel Jones, not a bad. I'm not going to say Daniel Jones is extraordinary by any means, but he's a guy that can, play some decent football. And for the Colts especially, I don't think we've seen the last of Anthony Richardson. I mean, like, same thing. You can't just give up on a young quarterback like this early. You got to give him some opportunities. But Daniel Jones can win you football games, and you're not in too tough of a division, right? You're in the AFC South, where you got the Texans, really struggled last year. A new offensive coordinator, like we just talked about, really not great offensive line. You got the Jaguars, who we haven't seen a whole bunch besides, Brian Thomas Jr. at receiver. He was extraordinary last year, but other than that, not too much out of the Jags. And then you have the Titans, who rookie quarterback, which we'll get to, and it's just a division that's so up for grabs, not because everyone's great, but because everyone's kind of the same in the same position. Like, yeah, we're not stellar. We don't expect us to, be the talk of the town, but you can still win football games. So I honestly think the Colts have to keep that in mind, especially when you have a solid running back and, you have a solid running back in Jonathan Taylor, who can still win you football games if you just give him the rock. Then you make sure the man stays paid, which thankfully they did. That's the goal for the Colts. If Anthony Richardson is going to do it, if he struggles when he comes back from injury and Daniel Jones is winning you football games, you choose whoever's winning you football games, because 9 wins get you into the playoffs if you win that division, I believe. Jacksonville Jaguars. How could Liam Cohn jumpstart Trevor Lawrence's game? I like what Liam Cohn did in Minneapolis. It seemed like he was a successful coach. A lot of guys really like him. He gets the most out of his players. And I think that's what Trevor Lawrence needs. It seems like Trevor Lawrence has just never been super comfortable. We've seen glimpses of him have really good games. We've also seen glimpses of him where we're like, Trevor, what are we doing? And I almost feel bad for Trevor Lawrence, and we'll get to him. Another guy that's almost comparable. I think Justin Herbert's a little better, but both of those quarterbacks, I feel like, just are in systems so far in their careers that, like, they haven't been given like great opportunities to succeed, and any success that has come has been just because of them. It's been on their shoulders. No one's really helped them get there. Probably there have been people that have probably helped them, but no one's really just like set them up, put it on a platter. I think Trevor Lawrence's game is going to improve. He's got the stock for it. We see that he can even run the ball a little bit. I think this is time in Trevor Lawrence's career where he kind of has that chip on his shoulder as well, and he just says, "I need to go ball out. I need to prove to everyone like I am a real good quarterback," which I think he is. The Jags just haven't, given him an opportunity to really show that consistently. So hopefully Liam Cohn can help him out with that. The Kansas City Chiefs. What needs to happen for Patrick Mahomes' stats to return to an elite level? Well, here's the thing. The Kansas City Chiefs still made it to the Super Bowl last year. And Travis Kelce didn't have an extraordinary year. Patrick Mahomes didn't have an extraordinary year. So I think this just goes to show how great of a coach Andy Reid is, but also shows that Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to have those extraordinary stats to win football games. I think he's one of the best he's not super young, but he's still playing, and I think got quite a few years ahead of him. And he is one of the best game managers we've ever seen, similar to almost to Tom Brady. He 13 seconds, like I talked about earlier, 13 seconds against the Bills in the playoffs, and he drives down the field and he gets you the field that you need to go to overtime, where then he gets the ball in overtime and goes and scores, leads you to another Super Bowl. There's nothing to be said about that. He doesn't need the stats. He doesn't need the extraordinary stats. He doesn't need the MVP stats for the Chiefs to be good. He just has to continue to do what he does to win the Chiefs football games. And Rashee Rice is going to be back, who was injured, who is going to be huge. And that's, I think, Hollywood Brown, another guy. So, and he still has Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, a little bit of a down year, but he has the weapons now. And if Patrick Mahomes just keeps managing games like we've seen him manage games, the Chiefs are going to win. And especially in the postseason, he's got the experience. We don't need elite level stats. Patrick Mahomes just needs to be himself, maybe limit the turnovers a little bit. And they lost the Super Bowl because the Eagles defense was unreal, like unstoppable. He's still making the Super Bowl. I don't think there's too much to be worried about Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he needs elite stats for them to be good still. Las Vegas Raiders. What should we expect from the Geno Smith-Chip Kelly pairing? I'm super high on Chip Kelly. Been watching him since he was coaching Marcus Mariota at Oregon and what that high-flying Oregon offense looked like. And then he goes to Ohio State, and that was a fun offense to watch. Like, just watching what Chip Kelly schemed up for that Ohio State offense national championship team last year was pretty cool. He did what he wanted. There were so many times where you're watching them and you're like, why is Jeremiah Smith so open? Like, you would think the other team definitely was like, we can't let this guy be open. But Chip Kelly just ran so many different things. Same with Emeka Ibuka, where he was just like, these guys are going to be open. Try to stop one of them. You can't. I think having Geno Smith, having Chip Kelly, I think is going to be superb for him. And Geno Smith, another guy that's got a lot to improve. They got Pete Carroll. I think it's going to be a better, I don't want to say a great situation in Las Vegas, but I definitely think it's going to be a better team we've seen in the past, and maybe just a better culture with the coaching staff they have, and a Geno Smith who's ready to prove something and really wants to just win football games. Geno Smith, another guy who I just think is a great competitor and finds a way to just be a dog out there. So with that being said, I'm not sure we're going to get through all of these questions. We got quite a few teams left, but we got to go to break. So I'll find a few that are maybe interesting. If there's a team that you want to hear about, text the text line at 402-464-5685, and I'll definitely read that question off for you guys. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to put a bow on this segment of Ticket Weeknights. Thanks, guys.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488 8934, and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back for the final segment of Ticket Weekends on this beautiful Saturday here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I appreciate everyone who's tuned in today. Been a fun segment. I love talking NFL. I think everyone's getting just as excited as I am. Preseason, love it. Doesn't do it justice. It's going to be so cool when we see all these just superstars out there balling once the season starts. But we got a few more questions to ask. If there's a team real quick that you want to hear about or hear their question, text in at 402-464-5685. With that being said, let's go to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, led by Justin Herbert, obviously. Is Justin Herbert's protection going to be good enough? I hope so. Rashawn Slater just got hurt, he's their best guy. They got him paid, and he just got hurt. Newly signed Mekhi Becton is going to be counted on at right guard, and they got a few guys that are rotating. Right tackle Joe Ald played well last season as a rookie, but you want to make sure that Justin Herbert's getting protected, because when he gets protected, we see how successful he is and how he just airs it out. He's got an absolute cannon. His accuracy, I want to say, is pretty impressive. And I think Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert is just an insane duo. I think Jim Harbaugh does a great job of getting the most out of his players, instilling as much confidence as possible in them. I hope Justin Herbert just gets the protection that he needs and that he deserves, because he's a good quarterback and you don't want to see him taking hits. Speaking of taking hits, the Miami Dolphins. Is this a make or break year for Tua Tagovailoa? I'm worried about Tua. I think he's an extraordinary talent. We've seen glimpses from him as well that he can be extremely successful and he has great weapons. But when he's taken the hits that he's taken and just the scary injuries, you worry, is it worth it? If we're being honest, like it's got to be scary when the probably offensive coordinator, the whole coaching staff is like, hey, if the pocket collapses, you might just have to go down, because we don't want to see you scramble, even if it's for you trying to get 5 yards for a first down on third down. We can't see you taking those hits, and I think defenses are worried about it too. They don't want to be the guy that injures him again. And just the brain, the things that have happened to his brain, I hopefully are not too detrimental. But I think this is a make or break year, because I think at this point it's all right. Your health comes first, number one. But also, if you're not performing and we have to change our offense a whole bunch to make sure you stay safe, then we can't continue to, promote this. We might have to find someone else, which is unfortunate because Tua is, had a great career at Alabama. We've seen glimpses of his success in the National Football League, but safety comes first. And if Tua doesn't have an extraordinary year, I think as an organization, you have to say, we're not going to, allow this anymore. Let's make this the last one. Minnesota Vikings. Should we expect immediate success for JJ McCarthy just because of the Kevin O'Connell effect? So Kevin O'Connell has produced some great quarterbacks, and Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins. We see Sam Darnold show up, who with the Jets had a lot of struggles. He comes to the few stops, but then he ends up on the Vikings and just balls out last year. I don't think we should expect a whole bunch out of JJ McCarthy. One, coming off an injury, but also this is a tough league for young quarterbacks. I think Kevin O'Connell is going to give him a whole bunch of success and opportunities for success, and not put him in too many opportunities where he has to go make a crazy play or do something extraordinary. So I expect big things out of JJ McCarthy. Not crazy big, because he is in a tough division with some solid defenses with the Packers, the Lions, the Bears. But he's gotten a whole year to learn. He's rehabbing, but he's also learning. He's seeing what's going on, how Sam Darnold ran it, and Sam Darnold had a lot of success. So it's just going to be different, because JJ McCarthy is probably going to have to step up a little bit rather than how he played when he was at Michigan. He had an unbelievable offensive line, and he had two of the best running backs in the country, and Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. And with those type of guys, it's not too hard to just hand the ball off, have your offensive line block for them, and they just run like the wind. So he's going to have to, make a little bit of a change, maybe not a change, but just, get used to, all right, I got to run this offense. I got to make some big time plays. I got to make some solid throws. I'm expecting big things out of JJ McCarthy, and I think Kevin O'Connell is definitely a great coach that will set him up for success. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone tuning in on a Saturday. First time running, the show solo. Pretty cool. I want to thank DP for giving me this opportunity. What he's done here at 93.7 The Ticket is pretty extraordinary. And there aren't many people like him or have the ability to build a business like this, as well as Rebecca. But then also DP's talent on air is pretty cool. So from everyone at The Ticket, we appreciate you tuning in. And we're going to go to national now, so feel free to stay on. Royals will be on at 5:30. But I appreciate you tuning in on this Saturday. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com.
Starter Heyman Jewelers.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
If the power is out, keep your fridge and freezer closed. Perishable food lasts 4 hours in the fridge, and frozen food lasts up to 2 days if it stays below 40 degrees. See more tips at les.com/safety.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Skip the line and order with our app or online.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.